Today is the first day of 2022, and I hope everyone had a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day celebration if you did celebrate or if you just sat on the couch like I did. I'm Teryn, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before and if you're new, I make a lot of skincare focused beauty content as well as fashion and life content. If that interests you, please be sure to check out my other videos, like this video, and subscribe. My shirt says, I just want to hang out with my dog. Yeah. And so basically that's what I'm doing. Today is going to be a chill day for me. Every day is pretty much a chill day for me because I don't like to be stressed. So while 2021 wasn't the best year for me, I did accomplish a lot of things that were on my vision board, as well as just some goals and things that I wanted to do that came about throughout the year. What helped me was to not overwhelm myself, which I will talk about later on. But I wanted to start off by talking about how you can set yourself up for success by just making the necessary steps in order to achieve your goals. What made things different for me compared to previous years is that I think I started to really understand how done is better than perfect. It's okay to put out a rough draft into the world, and then of course you can always make improvements and changes as time goes on. For instance, I think when we see someone put out a product, while we might think, oh, the product is perfect, we don't know everything that went into that, especially when it comes to large businesses and corporations. There's so much testing that goes on behind the scenes that sometimes a lot of people just aren't aware of. And then you have smaller businesses where they put out a product and they might not have all the funds for testing, but as time goes on, they tweak their products and improve them and get them close to perfection. So like I mentioned, just making necessary steps in order to achieve the goals that you set for yourself, whether that's on your vision board, on an app, wherever you put those goals for yourself. Maybe you have resolutions, maybe they're just things that have been ongoing. So just making the necessary steps for you to take in order to achieve those steps. They don't have to be huge steps, but they can just be small. One of my goals that was on my 2021 vision board was to just improve my overall health. So throughout the year, I just made steps to make sure that I was exercising daily, that I was getting a lot more rest than I had been, and then also making sure that a lot of my meals were cooked at home and then were more on the healthier side. It sounds like a lot, but it's honestly not that bad, especially when your 30 minutes could just be a walk, especially if you have a dog like I do. You might just spend that 30 minutes walking him. You might do a dance workout. You might just clean around your house vigorously for 30 minutes. I did YouTube videos. I did Pilates. I did a lot of things just to switch it up and just making sure that I slept more. Like, of course, there were some nights where I had to stay up pretty late, but just making sure that I didn't make that a continuous thing and just making sure that I definitely place a higher value on sleep, because I'm the type of person that needs 8 hours of sleep in order to function at their best. I know I have some friends that only need like 3 to 5 hours, and I have no idea how they can pull that off, but I'm the type of person that needs 8 hours of sleep. I did a video on this channel about my Misfits market bots, and so just making sure that I cooked more at home, and I really did start to cook more at home, and it was very fun. I thought it would take a lot more of my time than it did, but it was overall just more rewarding to be able to cook at home and not feel as heavy or feel sometimes sick after eating, and just being mindful of what I eat, because that's important for me. So with that, just those 3 steps, which sound like a lot, but they're actually quite simple. You just have to carve out some time where you can, and it might be like you do 15 minutes here, you might do 15 minutes there. But I was able to lose 15 pounds and just kind of improve my health overall. Like, I'm able to run longer, run faster, and just I don't feel as weighed down when it comes to certain things, and I get a lot more sleep. I've been more creative because of that, and I've just been overall just happier, because I think how you treat your body definitely makes a difference. In about April of 2021, I got the idea for Most Fashionable Crime. Most Fashionable Crime is my fashion-related true crime podcast, and there is a YouTube channel, which are linked in the description box if you are interested. I got that idea around April, and then I launched it in September. So over the time, I just decided to just put it out there and stop waiting for it to be perfect, and just see what feedback I got, and just continue to tweak that. So some of the steps that I took for that in order to make that happen, especially within the time frame that I kind of wanted. So what I did was I refined my concept, and that took a couple of months. I asked friends and family what their thoughts were about the different concepts I was kind of deciding on. So after I came up with the concept, I thought about the format. Do I want it to be a year-long thing? Did I want it to be seasonal? How many episodes did I want? And then from there, I came up with a list of topics based on how long each episode would be and how many episodes per season. And then I bought the necessary equipment in order to publish a podcast. And then I also took a blog and podcast e-course, which I made an A in. When you have a goal, when you have something that you want to accomplish, you just have to think about the necessary steps that you can take in order to get there. And it can be kind of overwhelming to think about that, just to come up with a plan. And just know this, a lot of things that you might come up with, like say you want to start a YouTube channel, say you want to start a podcast, maybe you want to start a blog. A lot of things have been done before, and there are free resources all over the internet that will tell you exactly how to do it. And make sure that you take advantage of that instead of trying to do everything on your own, because I promise you it will make things just so much more simpler for you. So kind of going off of there being so many resources for you to be able to achieve things because it's been laid out for you, I kind of had to take that into account when not overwhelming myself with the different goals and things that I wanted to achieve. For instance, I think I mentioned this in a couple of videos before, where it's like I want to do costume design, I want to have my own label, I want to have this and that. And I just had to go back and kind of think about my fashion history and realize that there are a lot of designers that have dabbled in costume design, that have dabbled in performance wear, and I know that it can be done. And so a way that I learned to not overwhelm myself, especially if you just have all these ideas that you want to put out in the open, is just to focus on one first. You can maybe do like 1 and 2 if they really do go along with each other, like 1.5. But my tip is just to focus on one first, because I feel like it can be so overwhelming when we have all these things that we want to accomplish, and it makes it so much harder on us to figure out how we can actually achieve those things. And we end up doing a little bit of this and this here and there, instead of just, you know, focusing on getting one really, really great and then moving on to the next while continuing to grow the one that's already great. So I can even see how a vision board can be overwhelming, because on mine, I'll put like a little clip of it. It has like, I want to travel more, I want to become fluent in Spanish, and things can be very overwhelming just trying to handle 2 things. So for instance, I didn't have a podcast on my vision board for 2021, but I did have reading more books. And with the podcast, I was able to read a lot more books. So that's kind of something that kind of worked hand in hand. I still have reading more books, which I'll be definitely reading a lot more books for my podcast this year. But I also had traveling. So if I wanted to read a book on the plane while I travel, or read a book in the passenger seat while I travel, that's kind of a way for you to hit both goals in one setting. So kind of look for ways that you can achieve both. I feel like a lot of us can be very overwhelmed when it comes to achieving our goals, that we get to the point where we don't even take the necessary steps in order to do anything in order to achieve them. And I think it can be so much about, well, I don't have any money, I don't have any time, I don't have any energy. And I definitely get that. But it's just when you do have those bursts of creativity, when you have those bursts of energy, just find your way to at least taking one step in order to get to what you want to achieve. I feel like that is just something really important that has definitely helped me. And I've definitely seen the results of that. You just have to get started, and you just have to go for it. I have a really big goal for 2022 that I want to accomplish and get some things kind of squared away by my birthday of this year, which is coming right up. And I spent the last week of 2021 chatting with a lawyer about some things, about how to get everything official, and then just working on development stages for things, and just kind of figuring out ways to get that achieved in 2022, because it's just something that's like really been on me, and I'm just really gonna like put myself into it. And that's kind of what I'm working on today. I don't know if you guys like follow New Year's Day traditions, but you're not supposed to clean, because that's basically signifies like what you'll be doing for the rest of the year. So I've just been watching the Golden Girls, working on some illustrations, hanging out with my dog. I'm about to cook my traditional New Year's Day meal. So yeah, that is kind of how I was able to achieve some things. Like, I make vision boards, I write down my goals. I know some people are like, oh, I make a vision board when you can write down your manifestations or affirmations. I do both. Like, I have like every month I kind of write down a list of goals that I have, or just like for each kind of quarter of the year. So I do a bit of both. And as time goes on, I just write down like certain things that I want to accomplish or do. And I love a vision board. I mentioned this before. I'm just super visual. So I like to see pictures and images of things that convey what I actually want. I know that it can be very overwhelming, but you really have to just figure out one thing that you really want to do and just kind of step into that fully and then move on to the next thing. That has really helped me, as well as when it comes to even like smaller goals. Done is better than perfect. You have the time to perfect things and get it better and keep it moving on. Put it out there and then perfect it as time goes on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great new year. I wish you everything that you desire, everything that you deserve. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe. As always, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment for more videos. Thank you again and Happy New Year. Hi. It's Maverick. Oh yeah, come on, pose. Oh. It's 80 degrees and there is the ice cream man. I've seen flies today. It's just 80 degrees, January 1st, 2022.